It's April 2022, and I'm walking out of my room and I'm feeling really good. I'm in a good mood. I've woken up on the right side of the bed for once. And while I'm walking out, I'm thinking about all the productive things I'm going to do today. I'm going to get all this work done. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I don't usually have this feeling, so I was really excited for today. And then I stop at the top of the stairs. I hear my parents having a conversation, but it doesn't sound friendly. Were they arguing? They were talking about me. My GCSEs were coming up a lot quicker than I expected, and I wasn't putting in the work required enough to actually get good grades for my GCSEs. The conversation they were having downstairs actually made me scared about even going downstairs in the place where I lived for most of my days. Because you see, every time I went downstairs and told my parents, we'd always have one conversation. I mean, there wasn't really anything else to talk about between us, which I think is kind of sad, because we didn't really have that great of a relationship. But the only conversation we would have would be about study and work and GCSEs or whatever exams I've coming up. And every time we had these conversations, it kind of annoyed me because I just didn't like having those conversations. But then when I think about it in retrospect, maybe they were right. Maybe they were right I wasn't studying enough. Maybe they were right I wasn't putting enough hard work in. Because deep down I knew I wasn't putting enough work in. So that's why it hurt me. That's why I hated the conversations. That's why I was annoyed by the conversations. So instead of walking downstairs, I walked towards the bathroom. I look at myself in the mirror, and all I could see was a disappointment. I was bound to be a failure, and I was bound to not live up to anyone's expectations. From that point on, I had to do a lot of healing to get myself to the place where I am now. You see, I had to create a new identity. I had to completely change myself. I had to change the view on the world, the view on my parents, the view on my work, and the view on myself. And that's the only way I was able to actually move on from any of the anarchy that I was living in. And yeah, maybe I haven't healed everything, all the problems that I had in my childhood. But I'm in a way better place than I was before, mentally and physically. That's something I can hope to get you at. Because if you've clicked on this video, it sounds like you hate yourself. Or you might not, maybe you're just trying to educate yourself. But I'm hoping this video can help you. By the way, bro, my name is Vanch and I upload like advice videos, self-improvement shit, like every two or three videos every day. So I want you to go down, click on subscribe and the post notifications so you can see more videos like this. I can educate you more every day. All that. It's a win-win for both of us. Let's look at this from an outside perspective, right? Imagine you're not the person who hates yourself. Say you hate someone else. Why would you hate someone else, right? Say it's because there's a bully and you hate a bully. Let's go down that route and we'll kind of explain it. So say you hate a bully and you hate him because they're annoying you or they're not leaving you alone. What would you do in that situation? What would be the most plausible thing to do? Most of you are going to get this wrong, so I'll explain it to you. I want you to ask yourself the question after they say something to you, and it hurts you. I want you to ask yourself this question. What if they're right? What if what they're saying, every single thing that hurts me and inflicts pain upon me, is true? Because if it is, then they're telling you the truth, aren't they? They aren't insulting you. They aren't trying to hurt you. They're just telling you what's right in front of them. So let's be honest, what they're telling you is the truth. What you thought you could hide, that you could hide from the whole world, has actually been brought to the surface, and you hate them for that because they're showing you exactly what your flaws are. They're printing it out in clean font right in front of your eyes, and they've highlighted it. They're telling everyone around you, and you specifically, exactly what your flaws are. And you hate that. You would have hoped to hide those flaws in some sort of dark corner to never be seen again. But no, it's been brought to reality right in front of your eyes. This is technically what your mind does to you. Say you hold yourself to incredibly high expectations. The days that happen where you don't meet those expectations, and you won't meet those expectations every day. Because you aren't perfect. You're a fucking human, and you're gonna make mistakes, and you won't be perfect every day, and you won't meet your expectations every day. And when you don't meet those expectations, you're going to feel worthless. you're going to feel like shit. And your brain is going to constantly remind you what you could have been and you aren't, and what you didn't do that day, and all the things that you could have done. And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's supposed to motivate you, but that will crush some of you. Say most days that you're actually doing the right things, and then one day comes by where everything goes wrong, or you miss a couple of your habits. That's going to crush you, and that's going to demotivate a lot of people. So I need a lot of you to realize that you're going to make mistakes, but it's a win-win either way because you learn from them. And it's whatever outcome of your actions aren't the outcome that you want. The outcome that you want is you, and the outcome of you is always what's going to win. You're always going to be doing better no matter what you do. This also happens when you don't stick to your word. This is also why I think a lot of people fail on self-improvement. This is a bit of a tangent, but I'll kind of explain what I'm talking about. I think people fail on self-improvement a lot because they don't stick to their word. So I want you to imagine, right? Imagine there's two friends. Right? One friend, let's do like friend 1 and friend 2, right? Say Dan and Jack. Dan asks Jack out to like a dinner as friends. Jack says no, that he's busy and he's unable to go to the dinner. Then Dan's like, okay, fine. That makes sense. He may have something up. Dan then asks him another time, something else has come up. Jack, you want to come with me to this place, or do you want to come with me to this party? Jack says no, he's busy, he's doing something else. Dan's getting a bit skeptical now, right? He's like, okay, maybe he's just busy again. It's okay, we're friends, it's alright. A third time comes round. Dan now asks Jack again, yo bro, I know you've been busy the last 2 times, but you wanna come to this one? Because I think it'd be really good fun, and then we could actually get, spend time together and that. Jack says no. He can't come. He's busy doing something else. Now Dan is starting to think to himself, what's the point of me inviting him all these times if he's just going to keep saying no? Maybe Dan will try and invite him a couple more times, but it'll be less frequent the days go by that Jack keeps saying no. And eventually, Dan's going to stop asking. So how does this relate? This is the relationship between your brain and your actions, okay? So throughout a day, when you're on self-improvement supposedly, you're going to get positive thoughts, right? You're going to get positive thoughts like, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. And these are all productive thoughts that can genuinely make your life better, and you'll get these thoughts here and there. And people will actually get this a fair amount. The reason people fail self-improvement is that they'll get these thoughts, but they won't act on it. Say for example, my brain tells me, oh, you should journal. And then I decide to not act on that, and I don't journal. That's like Dad inviting me out to eat food, and of me saying no. So my brain has decided to invite me out to do the productive task. It's given me the thought, and I've said no. Now what do you think is going to happen the more often I do that? It's the same analogy, right? My brain's eventually going to stop inviting me out. It's going to stop giving me all these productive thoughts, and all I'm going to be left is with the negative thoughts. All I'm going to be left with is the bad habits. So a lot of people avoid taking the thoughts that they get in their head and actually using it and putting the action to get those thoughts done. And then eventually your brain will keep producing productive thoughts. It'll keep inviting you out. If anything, they'll invite you out more often. And then you'll see improvements compared to you just ignoring your thoughts, ignoring your brain. Another reason I think people hate themselves is because their self-image has been so crippled, so destroyed, that they're unable to do anything because they think they're a disappointment. If they think they're a disappointment and that they're a failure and they're unable to do tasks that everyone else can do because they've been reinforced the fact that they're not as good as anyone else, then obviously they're going to hate themselves because they're going to see everyone else doing all these great things, all these improvements, and then they've been reinforced with the fact from maybe their parents, maybe from bullying, that they're not worth anything. And I don't blame you, right? I don't blame you if you're watching this video and you think, oh, I can't do these things that everyone else is doing. But that's because from your childhood, from your school, from all your bullying, or from your parents saying stuff to you, you've been reinforced with the idea that, oh, I'm not as good as anyone else, or I won't be able to do this that someone else does because it's because of genetics, or it's because they're talented, it's because of this, it's because of this, it's because of this. You're making excuses, you're arguing with yourself. And you don't want to do that. Because you have the potential as much as anyone else has the potential, and you've created the self-image based on how everyone else has molded it around you into thinking that you can't do the things that everyone else does, when you can. A simple thing to help you, if you genuinely hate yourself, a simple way to help you do the things that are necessary is that you don't need to deserve the things that everyone else gets. You don't need to deserve having a good physique. You don't need to deserve eating the right foods and being healthy. You can hate yourself, but you don't need to deserve to have the things that you want. You can do the actions towards to get the things that you want, even if you don't deserve it. You could be the worst person alive, the shittest person alive, but as long as you do the actions towards getting the thing, it doesn't matter if you deserve it or not. It's just about being able to physically do the actions to get the thing that you want. And then no one gives a shit if you deserve it. And frankly, this is really ironic then, because if you hate yourself and you don't think you deserve things, but you do the actions towards to get the thing, I guarantee you, by the end of doing the thing, you're going to think you deserve to have the thing. So I hope that's helped, right? I hope that if you hate yourself, you maybe hate yourself a bit less now, and you're able to do some things to actually improve your mental health, and to improve your mental clarity and everything. So thank you for listening. Go get it, man.